Now, investors have their attention fixed on today's 600 billion naira open market operation auction. Meanwhile, traders at Axis Bank say they expect the bullish momentum to wane in the market due to potential liquidity pressures arising from the bond and OMO auction settlement. Anthony Aigbokhan, Treasury Team Member at Axis Bank, joins me now for more market movements. Anthony, thanks a lot for joining us on the show today. Really, now let's start off the conversation with the details of Monday's bond auction. Looking at the details here, we saw significant undersubscription on the 5-year paper, 16.4 billion versus the 100 billion naira offer. Walk us through the details here on the 5-year and then the 9-year paper.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. It's good to always be on the show. So on Monday, there was a bond auction that was conducted by the DMO where they were expected to raise 300 billion. This was offered across the 2033 and the 2029 papers. We saw the stop rates decline slightly on the 2023 paper to close at 19.85%, and also a slight decline also on the 2029 paper to also close at 18.98%. The DMO also sold the 298 billion, which is close to exactly what was on offer.
And now let's also talk about how this also adds to the pressure. Now we're looking at liquidity at this moment now in terms of the bond and then OMO auction settlement. How much pressure does this pose for liquidity going forward?
Okay, looking at system liquidity, we've seen a decline. It's currently at 1.3 trillion. So with this bond auction settlement, which is going to happen today, and also there's also an OMO auction that is going to also happen today, we had expected that the liquidity would decline. But however, there was an OMO maturity yesterday to the tune of 980 billion that came into the system. So that would also pop up the system liquidity. So despite the OMO and the bond auction, which might give some bit of pressure, we still expect market liquidity to be robust. We still expect the OPR and overnight rates. The OPR rate is currently at 26.5, and the overnight rate is currently at 26.89%. So we still expect the rates to hover around those similar levels.
And also looking at how we're seeing movements as well, let's shift focus to the FX space at this moment now. What should we expect as we are gradually wrapping up the month of May? Any surprises lurking in the background?
On the foreign exchange market side, what we've seen over the past 1 to 2 weeks, we've seen the Naira begin to strengthen. Although the NAFEX closed yesterday fixing at 15.89 Naira to the dollar, but we saw the official rate of the CBN appreciate by 4 Naira to close at 15.83 Naira to the dollar. So going into the week and also maybe into the new month, we still expect this appreciation trend to persist, particularly if the foreign portfolio investors are active in the OMO auction, which is happening today. We also been seeing the central bank coming in as a willing supplier of US dollars, selling dollars to willing buyers. So if this intervention persists, and also with the supply improving in the market, we still expect to see appreciation of the Nigerian Naira against the US dollar.
Anthony, would have to leave the conversation here for now. Thank you so much for your time in the show today. That is Anthony Aigbokhan, Treasury Team Member at Axis Bank.